So let's start with Informatica Power Center tutorial sessions. This is part 1. We will first go through the Informatica architecture. So we have, as you see, the diagrammatic representation. We have first client tools, then Power Center repository, and then we have Power Center server. So in client tools we have different tools through which we can create and manage transformations, mappings, sources, targets, etc. So if we look in the first tool is Power Center Designer. The name denotes that this is used to design the mappings, sources and targets. Then we have a repository manager. This is a tool through which we can create folders, export, import different XML objects which have targets or mappings defined into it, sources as well. Then we have a workflow manager. In workflow manager we basically create sessions. We create workflow through which we can define that which session should be performed in which order, and we can create the workflows itself. We can manage the workflows with different, we create the connections through which our sources and targets are connected, and we can trigger the workflow itself from the workflow manager as well. And there is one other option that we can also trigger the workflows to Power Center command prompt. So then we have a workflow monitor. Workflow monitor, as the name denotes, that here we can see the progress of our workflow which we have executed. It will show us the succeeded or failed status, and we can also individually see the session logs and workflow logs as well. Then we have metadata reporter. So here we basically report the we control the metadata things. Okay. Then we have a Power Center repository, right? So all of these client tools basically communicate to the Power Center repository. So Power Center repository service is basically a service in which there is a database behind the service. Whatever action we perform for this Power Center server is saved into this repository database. For example, if you want, you can also take the backup of the database, or you can also take the dump, delete the database and then restore, and you will find all the workflows, mappings, transformation which you already created. So this is basically heart of the Informatica Power Center, all the or the middle or intermediate layer between the client tools and to the main server. Now if you see this is the Power Center server, the third layer, the last layer. It's basically connected to the Power Center repository, and then repository talk to the client tools, and the sources and targets are directly connected to the Power Center server, right? So we have number of sources and number of targets, many different available solutions we have through which we can get the data from either RDMS, flat files, XML, ODBC, and same can be our targets. So here this was the brief introduction of Informatica architecture. So let's just start with the Power Center Designer. So this is a designer tool. This is a shortcut. So we will connect one of the repository here, discovery repository. So let's enter username and password. So here you can see that now repository is being accessed. Okay, so I have already created 2 folders. So we will use, this is the empty folder, right? So we use this tutorial folder. Let's just drill it down. You can see the different options: the sources, targets, cube dimension, transformation, maplets, mappings, user defined function. So initially we will be using just 3 of these folders: sources, targets, and mappings. Okay, so I have also created one database for us so that we can just create a fresh table with some of the data, and let's just look into some of the initial transformation. So this is the amabas_tutorial is the database. Let's just create table. with some of the data. So we will take so we are creating the table commitment here. Let's just open the different sessions also at the same time so that we can use. So okay, so we have the database table created. Now we are also creating one more table with the one of the table name change. So let's make it commitment underscore target. Okay, so now we will be having two tables. Both of both of the tables should be empty. Okay, so empty result for both of these tables. Let's have some data for commitment. So here is the data for commitment. Okay, we will be inserting into one of the table. Okay, so one of the table now has the data, right? So the table which has the data, it will be our source, and the other would be our destination, the empty destination. So now this has 3 rows and we have empty. Okay, fine. So let's start with creating these. Okay, so here is the, for example, if you want to see your sources targets, so here is the tools. We come into source analyzer. So we need to create the source, then we will be creating. So here one more tab has appeared within a source. Now we have different options, right? So we can directly create our source as well. We can import from database file. There are many options, and this is the option through which we create. As of now, we will just use the import from database. So here I am using this underscore. So we have our ODBC defined with SG28. This is the name of ODBC, and just you need to give the username, owner name, and password, and it will come in. So here we can see our two of the our tables. So as commitment will be our source, because this is a table which has data, so we will be importing this table into our source analyzer. So here we can just we can go through the source. Okay, so here are all the column names, data types. We don't have any other thing here. So let's move on to the target. So same process we will apply for the target also. Import from database, we will use 28. Amabas is the username, and amabas underscore tutorial is the schema name, the owner name. Here we give the password. Okay, so here we will select the commitment underscore target. So same Oracle target is being defined here. Now you can see that this hierarchy is getting increased. So let's just save it, so that it will be saving the commitment source and commitment target into the repository. Fine. So now just we can go to the mapping designer. So here is the tab. Basically in source we got the source tab, in target we got the target tab, in mapping we got the mapping tab, right? And one more tab which appears is transformation tab. So let's just create the mapping. We will name it as am underscore commitment underscore target. Okay, so all the options for transformation are now enabled. So what we will do is just drag and drop the source. As soon as you will drop the source here, one more source qualified transformation will be attached automatically. Let's see. So here we see this is our source as commitment. Just right, and this is the source SQ source qualifier. So now the question must have arrived at what is this SQ underscore commitment. This is a source qualifier, right? So for any mapping, this is the default source qualifier which is attached to any source. So if you want to do the one-to-one transformation directly, so you can just drag and drop the target directly and it will be created. So let's just do that. We are just doing one-to-one mapping. We are not doing any expression change or any transformation. We are just extracting the data and loading it, so that we can start up with the very basic mapping, and then we can create a very basic workflow to complete our initial first task. So here you can see I have dropped up the target. Now what I'm doing is I'm selecting all the columns which are in SQ commitment. So columns in the definition of transformation is set as ports, right? You have an input port, you have an output port. I will show you this also. So here you can see that I've already linked all this. So if you want to see that a contract date is coming from which column, so what you can do is you can right click it, select link path backward, so it will show you where this data is coming from actually. So let's just look at SQ underscore commitment. Ports, properties, okay, sources, and okay, let's see the properties. SQL query, right? We are just going into it. So if we say generate SQL, then it will be generating as SQL. Select as commitment dot and all the columns as type. So we can also make some query conditions here as well. If you want to use any case, NVL or any other function, so we can also use here. So as of now we don't need this. So here is one of our basic mapping being created. So I think this is the first session end. In the next session we will be looking into the workflow creation for the same mapping which we have created. Thank you.